you're going to have finally a chance to practice what we've talked about in the course. You will be negotiating an exercise called the House on Elm Street. And here is the common information from that exercise. This involves negotiations between Tracy and Pat. One of you will be Tracy, your counterpart will be Pat, for the sale of a beautiful old Victorian house on a large lot in a residential neighborhood. The house needs expensive repairs. The seller and neighbors have a strong interest in preserving the house and the neighborhood. The last sale in the neighborhood was 6 years ago, when a similar house sold for $135,000. The house was similar, but it was well maintained. Property values have appreciated considerably since then. And the property has a tax assessment of $140,000. But tax assessments are usually well below market value. So I want you to find somebody to negotiate with. Select one role, the other person will select the other role. Only read your own role. Do not read the role of the other side. Make sure you understand the facts in detail. There are only 2 pages, but there's a lot of detail on those 2 pages, so make sure you understand the facts. And you'll have 1/2 hour for the negotiation. Please limit yourself strictly to the half hour. You'll see some other instructions on the front page of the 2 roles. For example, negotiate as you would in real life. This is a real life scenario. Do not say something like, well, the rule says that I'm supposed to say this. Just say it. Do not change any facts in your rules. Stick strictly to the facts. And if you're able to reach a result, then be sure you note your results. Not all of you will be able to successfully resolve the negotiation, and that's fine. Just stop after 30 minutes. After we debrief, you will have a chance to, number one, do your own negotiation performance review, your self-assessment. But unlike real life, you will also have a chance to assess the other side. In real life, when you negotiate, nobody ever says to you, gosh, you did a great job in this negotiation, but you could have taken a lot more of my money if you would have done X, Y, and Z. A good negotiator instead will say, oh, you did a great job in this negotiation. You really ate my lunch. You're the greatest negotiator ever. They'll never tell you how to improve. So this is your one chance to get honest, candid feedback from the other side. Please take advantage of this. And by the same token, please give honest, candid feedback to the other side. What did they do well? How can they improve? I use this approach in my class, and it's an especially valuable feature of the class. I receive many emails from former students who talk about it. Let me give you a couple of examples. Negotiation is a fundamental skill that we need to learn how to use. I was a bit hesitant to join the class initially, as I thought I had excellent negotiation skills. However, when I was put in a class with better negotiators, things were put into perspective and made me realize there was a lot to learn. The key difference is that in class I got feedback and know what I did right and wrong, while in real life I don't know if I could have done better. For example, as a management consultant, I negotiated a 55% raise 6 months before my review. My boss never told me whether I could have pushed for 60%, 70%, even 100% raise. Maybe I did fine, but I will never know whether I did right or wrong or if I had maximized my raise. The class also gave me a scientific, conceptual framework which provided a significant level of discipline into what is stereotyped as an artistic skill. This is a critical tool that MBAs need to learn, not just to negotiate, but also to diffuse stressful situations. I've actually had former students who also bring this into the workplace. One of my students was the president of a car company in a specific country. It happened to be Mexico. He was president of blank company of Mexico. And he later was promoted and became the head of labor relations for the entire company worldwide. And he told me that he liked this model so much that when they planned their union negotiations, every Friday his team would meet, they would do a negotiation, and then they would use this kind of assessment to evaluate the results. One final point, if you're negotiating with somebody who hasn't taken the class, give them a briefing of the kinds of questions they should think about in preparing for the negotiation and the kind of tactics they can use during the negotiation. I think research shows that the way we really learn a topic is when we teach it to somebody else. And so not only will you be helping them, but it will help you internalize the concepts that we've been talking about.